Hey everyone, and welcome back to Flint Community Players Artist Spotlight, where we highlight the artists that lend their talents to Flint Community Players, along with artists in the greater Flint area and Genesee County area. Today, we are joined by the director for the upcoming production of The Lion in Winter, Mr. Chip DeFord.
Hi everybody.
Alright, so Chip, you are, like we said, the director of The Lion in Winter, and which will be opening up very soon. What drew you to the story of The Lion in Winter? Or what do you like about the show?
Honestly, Henry is a role, it's a bucket list role, and I love the film with Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn. I just think it's one of those stellar casts that you just can't, although I think we've done a pretty good job for here at Flint Community Players. It's a pretty good cast. But that film is iconic, and the role, I was like, I almost said, do you have any plan to play Henry? But then they found out they were doing it, they needed directors, so I was like, oh yeah, let's turn the submission in for that.
The show has, just like you said with Henry and a couple other characters, there's so many awesome, memorable characters, memorable lines, moments, and stuff in this. Without giving anything too big away, do you have a favorite scene from this particular production, or say a favorite scene from the film?
The dialogue is for me what sells it. And pretty much any scene with Henry and Eleanor in it, the way they just so cleverly, and the writing lends it to it, but the way they so cleverly butt heads with each other is just, it's just memorable. It's
Absolutely
so
brilliant.
I couldn't put any better than that.
So Chip, outside of being a director, you also are seen as an actor a lot at the Hope Summer Repertory Theater and Meadowbrook Theater, just to name a few and everything. How does having experience as an actor help you as a director?
It helps me immensely, especially in the way that I go about giving direction to the actors in the production. I mean, I come at things from an actor's point of view, and so hopefully that lends itself to giving them notes that allow them to make the decisions their own way, because that's how I, as an actor, like other directors, to, I don't want to be too imposing. I want to make sure that I'm checking in with them. I want to also make sure that I'm playing to their strengths. We've got a guy in this cast who has never been on stage before, and you would never know it. I'm not going to tell you who it is, because you just have to come and see it. But you will not know that anybody on this stage has never been on stage before. But one of our actors, it's his first time on stage. And he is, well, that narrows it down. It's not going to be either of the women. But he's excellent. They're all excellent. But just knowing that he has never done anything like this before, he blows me away every time he's on stage.
So you have a lot of experience and stuff with theater over the years. Tons of different shows, tons of different roles. What got you started in theater?
I did shows in high school. I did musicals in high school. I do a little bit of everything. So I do musicals and Shakespeare and straight plays and all that sort of thing. And then I went to college, undergrad, at Hope College over in Holland, Michigan, where the summer theater is, and was pre-med for like one semester. And then slowly, gradually, as I realized how terrible of a science person I was, began going over to the theater department and getting involved in their plays, and eventually taking a few classes. And then eventually somebody said, you should probably explore making a living at it. And so I explored it, and especially when the opportunity to get my union card, which was for a role that I created, came up, I was like, okay, this is it.
So that's awesome that the role that you created, that's such a cool way to be able to start it.
Yeah.
And like you just said, all the different shows you've worked on, you've done musicals, dramas, all that stuff. You've done so many different characters and different roles. I know it can be hard to narrow it down, but if you had to narrow down to your favorite role that you think was like your favorite role to ever play, what would it be?
It has to be hands down the role that I got my equity card doing, because it was a role that I got to create. It was a show called Hope Summer Repertory Theater was supposed to do Forever Plaid, and they lost the rights to do it. And this husband and wife writing team, they're like, you need a show for 4 guys singing 4-part harmony? We'll write something. So they came up with this idea of the British Broadcasting Corporation singing for the boys overseas during World War II, and they invite this group of singing cowboys to sing for the boys overseas during World War II. And it's at the British Broadcasting Corporation, so you meet the employees, but the cowboys don't show up, so the British Broadcasting employees had to go on in the place of the cowboys, and it's called Chaps. And all I said was, I don't care about the script or the music, the idea alone, I'm in. And it was a lot of fun and very creative from the outset. And so that's my favorite experience.
So going back to The Lion in Winter, we talked about how much fun it is and how we're excited for audiences to be able to see it and stuff.
Yeah.
Of all the characters in this, who would you say is your favorite character and why?
Well, I gotta. Henry is my favorite character because I can sort of I fit in the mold. I am in my 50s, and I've been playing those kind of roles for a long time, and it just sort of sits well in there. And I'll tell you, Matt Morgan, who's playing Henry, is doing a bang-up job.
So good.
He is so good.
So The Lion in Winter takes place in medieval times, and it's for those of you who don't know, there is a royal family that is fighting for the crown. So Chip, if you were part of a medieval court, what do you think your title would be? Think knight, jester, king, etc.
I would say that I'm probably going to be the one who's remaining in the shadows and plotting and calculating. Probably that would be my role in the court. The Varys role.
So finishing up with The Lion in Winter and everything, because we obviously don't want to give too much away.
Right.
But the show is going to be opening up very soon, and audiences are going to be experiencing all the extremely talented actors that you got and everything. What do you hope that audiences are going to take away from the show, or what do you think is the thing you're hoping for the most for audiences?
I don't hope, I know that people are going to come to see this play and they're going to relate to each and every one of these characters. They're kings and queens and princes, but the dialogue they have can be at your dinner table. It's that intimate and scrappy and in your face, but also caring and nurturing at times. I just think that people are going to, there's going to be a lot of laughter, but it's going to be that kind of laughter like, yeah, that happens to me all the time. Yeah, that kind of, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Chip, for joining us and giving the audiences a bit of a taste of the show and getting to know you a little bit more. For the last thing that we always do on the Artist Spotlight, if you want to throw energy to the camera and let everyone watching know about any projects that you have coming up soon in the future, anything like that.
Sure. So, hi, I'm Chip Duford. I am going to be in the last show of the season at the Meadowbrook Theater in Rochester on the Oakland University campus. They're doing a closer look with Patsy Cline, and I'm playing the radio DJ comic man on the side, describing each of her songs as she sings them. And then I go right from there into my 28th season at Hope Summer Repertory Theater, playing Dogberry and Much Ado About Nothing.
That's fantastic. Awesome. So you heard it here. Make sure that you check out Chip and his upcoming productions, and make sure that you check out Lion in Winter coming real soon to the FCP stage.
Come see us.
You can catch The Lion in Winter at Flint Community Players, March 3rd through the 13th. Be sure to call the box office to reserve your tickets today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to stay up to date on all things Flint Community Players, be sure to like and subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms so you don't miss out on anything Flint Community Players.